Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And we do have a club here on Clubhouse. It's the P.I.L Method Club, but we're joining forces this morning in the mortgage syndicate so that we can get information out there how people can save money on interest. You have been paying 75% more interest than you need to pay. And we're going to get into how the best way to handle that. And it is not in a way that you've been taught before. Oh my goodness. Listen, have you ever heard the story about the pot roast? Okay. So it's a couple of things here. Why do we have a recipe? Why do we have recipes? Anybody in here who is a foodie, all right? Why do we have recipes? Why is that important? Can anybody put that in the chat or come up to the stage and talk to me? All right, just raise your hand. Let's talk, or put it in the chat. Why do we have recipes? All right, come on, somebody. I know you're probably typing right about now. And if you're online, let me go ahead and while you're typing, I'm going to put my link at the top of the page so that you can see what's going on here. All right, so I'm going to pin my link, ICE 10K. All right, ICE10K.com.
We have recipes for instructions, Doc.
Recipes for instructions?
Yeah, man. So because somebody has already figured out the way to do it, and we're just trying to replicate that.
All right, so man, that's Kirk Nugent, everybody, and you don't see him on the stage because he's running the back end on our technology here, making sure that our live video gets out. All right, so Doc, when you're talking about recipes, and we need to know how it's done. So what about the measurements? Is that important?
Yeah,
that if
absolutely.
Why are the measurements important on how much to put in or how much to leave out of the recipe? Why is that important?
If too much or too little may not give you the desired effect.
Okay, so folks, just like,
and in fact, even not just too much, too little, but also in the correct order.
Oh, in the correct order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen that. I've seen that when in recipes that you have to do this part first and then that part next.
Yeah.
For the whole thing to come out.
That's right.
So listen, and do you know that some recipes have been discovered by mistake? That something had been left out that could have been added that changed the whole thing and improved the entire recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you've been doing something for years doesn't mean it needs to continue that way. So let's talk about doing things in the proper order and the proper proportion, because that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today, why we need AI. Okay, doing things in the proper order in the proper way. If you have five ingredients in your recipe, do you know there's 120 different ways you can combine those ingredients? 120 different ways. And if you have different amounts, or you have different measurements of those five, then now you have infinitely more choices to make. How do you discover the perfect recipe? You discover the perfect recipe once you have all the ingredients you need, and in the right amounts, and in the right sequence. Then you have a good recipe. But do you know, when it comes to our money and paying back these loans, all I get online is all you have to do is pay more. Listen, folks, the most ubiquitous financial tool on the planet is the interest-bearing loan, and we know virtually nothing about it. And all people have ever told us is to pay more if you want to handle it. Well, listen, this thing is so complicated, it's not even funny. And all we're doing is we're telling people, everybody, to handle it the same way. You know, there's a story of the pot roast, Doc. A story of the pot roast, and I just looked that up again today. And this lady cuts both ends off the pot roast while she's preparing it. Okay, so she's doing things in order. She's preparing this pot roast. She's doing it just like her mother taught her, and she cuts both ends off the pot roast, and then she then cooks it, puts it in the pan, and does everything else to it that she needs to do, and it comes out gorgeous. Somebody asked her one day, "Why do you cut both ends off the pot roast?" And she said, "Well, my mother. This is my mother's recipe." And so, and it's always come out right. So I just cut both ends off the pot roast. Okay. And so finally, people kept asking her, and that answer did not suffice. So she asked her mother one day, says, "Mom, why did you, when we were growing up, why did you cut both ends off the pot roast?" She says, "I cut both ends off the pot roast because so it would fit in the pan that I had."
Oh my word.
So she's been doing that. Her mother did it, and she's been doing it for years, but she didn't know that her mother
Oh my gosh.
off the pot roast because that was the pan she had. There was absolutely no need to cut both ends off. Folks, we've been doing things the same way for such a long time. We have no idea what's going on with these loans. And I'm going to get into AI, but listen, we need to break some things down just a little bit. I'm going to put something on the screen here. All right. So we're going to get that off. So if you want to see what I'm doing, you want to bring up your laptop or your tablet, and then go to YouTube, right? Go to YouTube.
That's right.
And oh, listen, while you're there, would you just go ahead and subscribe? Go ahead and subscribe to YouTube and click that notification bell, and listen, like some of the videos and also comment. I say, do all those things. But anyway, go to YouTube and you can see what I'm getting ready to put on the screen right now so that you can understand why this thing is so important for us to have a computer program involved in this thing so that we can know what to do. Let me go ahead and put this. Okay, let me see here. I got to bring up there it is. We got that. And boom, there it is. All right. So there we go. All right. So, oh, you know what? I forgot to move something here. Let me move this so I could actually see. I got to move this to my third screen so I can see what's going on here. I don't have to keep asking you. There we go. And now there we go. All right, folks. What you're seeing now, this is huge. This is huge. This is called factorial computation. So if you have one thing to consider, all right, you have one variable, there's only one way to look at it. If you have two, there's only two ways to look at it. But if you have three variables, now there's 6 ways to look at it. Which way is the best way out of 6? If you have 5 variables, now you got a 120. Which way is the best way out of 120 different ways to do something? Which one is going, out of the 120, which one is going to give you the best thing to do? And folks, when it comes to lending, there's at least 10 different things to consider when you're paying back the loan to pay back the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible. At least 10. All right. Somebody wants to come to the stage, invite them to speak. All right. Come on up, Savoy. All right. Do you have a question or a comment? So Savoy raised their hand. All right. Let me see if we can bring them up. All right. Invite to speak. There we go. All right. I'm trying. Maybe you were just trying to say hi. I don't know. All right. Trying to bring you up, but it's not working. All right. He says, oh, you just wanted to say hi. I get it. Well, listen, say hi in the chat then. All right. Go ahead and say hi in the chat because that's how that works. So, folks, listen, let me go down here to our chat here. All right. And let me see here. All right, Devon Fox. Is Devon Fox in the room? All right, Devon, I see you there, man. What's that link you put in? What's that link you're trying to share with us? All right, let me bring him up. Oh man, there we go. Invite to speak. Let's see if we can get Devon to come on up. There he is. Devon, what's
Good
up,
morning,
man?
everyone. That's the YouTube link. I'm watching you on YouTube as well. I just subscribed and liked the video as
Listen,
well.
man,
So
we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So, have you
you're
been in the
welcome.
room
You're
before?
welcome. Yes, I was in the room earlier in the week when you was going over how to save, how to knock off pretty much pay your mortgage in 7 years just by making that extra principal payment. So I stood on, I believe, about an hour and something earlier in the week.
Well, listen, man, if you got any input, put in there. If you got any questions, please feel free to chime in there. How about that? Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm waiting for you to see how this AI works.
You wait to see how the AI works. Okay. Well, listen,
Yes, sir.
I'm giving it just a little bit of background because we've heard how this operates for so long in one way. All right. And we're going to find out how difficult a situation it really is to have to do the right thing in the right way in the right amounts. All right. So let me ask you a question to Kurt or anybody else that wants to listen. Anybody here like jerk chicken? Anybody like jerk chicken?
Absolutely.
Okay. So listen, I know that there's jerk seasoning on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So will too much jerk seasoning ruin the chicken?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got to put the right amount and
You got to
use
put
it.
the right amount.
Oh yeah.
So
It'll be, you can't eat it if it's too hot.
oh man, listen. I'm doing laundry. Okay. And my machine calls for a quarter cup of detergent for a load of laundry. Can you actually put too much detergent in your washing machine?
Yeah.
Oh man. Listen, I hear everybody should drink water. Everybody should drink water. Is it possible to drink too much water at the wrong time and hurt yourself? Anybody?
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
It is the truth.
You can actually poison yourself by
water
drinking
poisoning is
too
real.
much water. What's that, Doc?
Water poisoning is real.
Water poisoning is real. So, folks, let me tell you something. If everything that we know of has to obey the law of diminished return, that means there's a point at which more is too much. Why don't we know that about our money? Credit Goddess, it's good to see you this morning. Ah, okay. She's giving me that heart. So that means she can't talk to me right now. But when she can, she's going to jump in. All right, folks. Listen, what you want to do, folks, what you want to do is understand money from the beginning. Everything you do is in terms of how to get the best deal. Now, if you're in real estate, if you're buying a home for yourself, if you're a real estate investor, you're going to try to negotiate the best deal possible, aren't you? You're going to say, I need to buy it. I need to buy this right. And then if you're going to rent it out, you want to rent it out right. And then when we get a loan, we want to get the best interest rate we can. But folks, that's where it stops. That's where it stops when it comes to these loans. We want the best term we can get, and we want the best interest rate we can get. But that's where it stops. Did you know that there are so many things to consider when paying back a loan that we've never considered before? At least 10 variables per loan, which means if you have 10 variables per loan, I need you to look at this number. There are 3,628,800 100 different ways to look at that loan to come up with the right thing to do to benefit you. And we've never been told there is a better way to eliminate debt with our current budget. What we've been told is this: you need more money. You need more money to get out of debt, to handle your debt better. And that is absolutely not true. What you need is to pay less interest. And you can do that with your current budget. You don't need to make more money. You don't need to sell pizzas at night. You don't need to take any more time away from your family to pay off your debt in a more efficient manner, whether you are a home buyer or a real estate investor. And we're going to get into that right now. So if there's if there's over 3 million different things to consider, are you going to want to look at all 3 million? All 3,628,000 every single month to find out what's the best thing to do with this loan or my finances in general. What we don't know about finances will fill an ocean. And what we need to stop listening to are the experts that say all you need to do is. Well, if that were true, Doc, why is it that 9 out of 10 people we know will never pay off a mortgage or get out of debt completely? And that's 9 out of 10 people you know. I'm not talking about like a national average, 9 out of 10 people, 90%. No, 9 out of 10 people you know. So of all the people you know, no matter how old you are, how many people you know who had a mortgage and actually paid it off? It'll be less than 10% of the people you know once you count it up. So if the experts are right, then when they're telling us all you have to do is, then most of us should be able to do that and kill these mortgages. And then when you go to your holiday get-togethers, you know, everybody's talking about not how difficult things are financially. They're talking about Aunt Susie paid off her mortgage last week. Oh, and I'm going to pay off mine in 3 months. And oh, Bob paid his off a year ago. Nobody's talking like that, Doc. Doc, how many how many family events have you been to ever? I mean, can you even count them?
Nah, man. With my family, no. Can't count them.
Can't count them. Okay. Now, has anybody talked about how good it is financially and how they're paying their mortgages and loans off and student loans? Is that the topic of conversation?
No, absolutely not. That is not the topic unless I bring it up.
Unless you bring it up. That's not the topic of conversation.
No.
So the reason why that is, folks, because it is so doggone difficult to understand what's really going on with these loans. So now now that we know how many choices we have to make. Now, listen, folks, I need you to scroll down and you can see the new thing that we're having in here. It's easy to invite people into the room now. Easy to invite people into the room. So let's go ahead and start inviting some folks in. Okay. So I'm inviting some folks in, try to get them in here. And, oh, look at that. That's a person I can invite that one. Listen, it's so easy now to invite people in. Just click that button, click the button. All right. Clicking the button, getting people in here. So let's share this information so that other people can know. I'm going to put something else on the screen now. Now that you can understand how many variables there are when it comes to lending, and because it is so difficult to do, 9 out of 10 people you know will never do it. Who is benefiting from that? I need you to tell me who benefits from the fact that there's so many things to do to consider when paying off a loan. We have no idea what the recipe is. So we're in debt forever. Who benefits from that? That we don't know. All right. Let me see. Anybody in here want to talk about that? Who benefits from us not understanding how this works? Well, let me put something else on the screen. I'm going to get out of here. All right, get out of this. And now I have an amortization schedule on the screen. And I'm going to go over this, just show you a couple of things. All right, here's a $400,000 mortgage at 6%. And in the first year on this mortgage, $4,912.02 goes to principal. $23,000 goes to interest. $23,866.38. Ladies and gentlemen, do you believe that $23,866 is too much money to pay for the privilege of paying down this loan by $5,000? That is a ridiculous number. A ridiculous number. Why is it so expensive to get a loan we can afford? Listen, to get a payment you can afford, we are encouraged not to look at what happens within the payment we can afford. Here is what happens within the payment you can afford. The very first payment, only $398.20 goes to pay down your loan. And because you have gone to the bank to get the money to buy the house, then all they're charging you to pay down your loan by $398 is $2,000. That's all they're going to charge you, $2,000, so that you can pay your home down by $398. Doc, how did we get to the point where we're starting to just ignore that? Did you know there's something you can do about this?
Mercy.
In the first, I need to break the numbers down for you today. Even before I get into the AI, because listen, folks, I'm trying my hardest to let you know that the bank is using an algorithm. The bank is using an algorithm to give us these numbers. All right. And let me show you the algorithm that they're using. Okay. So we're going to bring that back up on the screen. Here's the algorithm that they're using to charge us all of this money. Here it is. Now, I don't understand everything about it. I just know that it is so super expensive to give us a payment we can afford, but we don't know what is actually going on inside, because this is not taught at any level of financial literacy, financial education anywhere to anybody, how to figure where this, and it took me years to find out where this actually came from. Right? Who actually invented this formula? Anybody heard of the Fibonacci numbers? He's a mathematician in the 1600s, and he actually came up with this formula to pay back loans. It was rediscovered and put back into our system in 1934. And this in the history that I read on this thing, it is virtually unchanged from the 1600s to now. And nobody understands how it works. So if the bank has a formula to charge us all of that money, where's our formula to combat their formula? Where's our computer to beat their computer to the punch so that we don't have to pay all of that? Oh my. So let's get back to where I was here. Here are the numbers, folks. I have several people in here online now looking at these numbers. If you're new to the room, go to YouTube. You can actually go to my whatever, because we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. I just say YouTube because it's easy to get to. You can search for P.I.L.L Method and then find our live to get on. All right. Let me show you the real numbers here. And here's how it breaks down. I'm going to bring up a calculator. I'm putting it on the screen. Okay. All right. And now we have a $2,000. Let me pull this down here. We have a $2,000 interest payment on the very first payment. $2,000 goes to interest. Our entire payment is $2,398. And this is just the principal and interest. This is not even taxes and insurance. Okay. $2,398.20. So when we do the math and do the division, we come up with 83%. 83% of your payment goes to interest on this loan. Let me break this down another way. For every dollar you pay on this mortgage, for every dollar, 83 cents out of your dollar goes to the bank in the form of interest, and you're buying your home with 17 cents out of every dollar. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you that we have a program that is so wasteful when it comes to our money? It is so inefficient when we pay our dollar. Only 17 cents out of the dollar does what you want it to do. Doc, what do you say about that? Come on. Where else do we do that?
It's absolute madness.
Listen, I want you to go to the store today. And I want you to do the math. When you go to the grocery store today, I want you to fill up your shopping cart. I want you to pay for it with all your food dollars. I want you to pay for that, but I only want you to take home 17% of the food you had in your cart. I want you to pay full price, but you're only going to take home 17% of it. Anybody here would do that? Is anybody here that would do that? Oh, when you stop by to get your gas and fill up for the week, I want you to pay your 60 or 70 bucks that you would pay for the gas, but I only want you to fill up your tank 17% worth. But I want you to pay full money. I want you to pay your full price for the gas, but only take home 17% of it. We don't do that anywhere else but here, and no one is talking about it. Out of all the rooms on Clubhouse, out of every place we're talking about on Clubhouse and on online, no one is talking about the percentages of what it really costs to purchase and what we can do about it. There is a weakness in this system that we're going to exploit today, that you don't have to get a refinance. Listen, I was in a room earlier today, Doc, and they're talking about PMI and PMI, private mortgage insurance. You know, the 63, the $79 or the $120 you pay in PMI every month. And they were looking at how to save that. All right. And when is the time that the PMI can drop off? Guess what they weren't talking about? This. They weren't talking about the fact that when you made that mortgage, 83% of your money goes to the bank. They weren't talking about that.
Wow.
If you're a real estate investor, let me show you something right now. If you're a real estate investor, you're being told right now, don't worry about this. Don't worry about how much interest you're paying or any of that, because your tenants are paying the bill. Here's what I want to show you about that. Let's say you can keep this loan for 10 years. I'm going to go down here for 10 years. Let's do a little math. That's 120 payments. 120 payments. Now, let's just say that you're making good money on this if you're renting it out, and you pay your mortgage, but it comes from the rents, so that when you subtract your the money you bring in for your rent and you subtract the mortgage payment, let's say you have a $1,500 left over. So this property is cash flowing $1,500 a month. And that is a little over $15,000 a year. Plus you got to pay taxes out of that. And now there's so many conversations about how out of your $15,000, how can you keep most of the $15,000 and not have to pay taxes on it? So there is a discussion about your $15,000 a year. Okay. But watch this. In 10 years, okay, in 10 years, you're going to pay $222,000 in interest on this thing out of the money your tenants gave you, and you're going to pay it down by $65,256.78. So let's do the math. We're going to put in $222,527.22. If you want to see this, if you're new to the room, go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method, and you can see this, okay, on a separate device. All right. And we're going to put in 65,000. Okay. We're going to add to that. 65,000. This is the amount of principal that we paid down. 65,000. All right. 256.78. When we add that all together, folks, that's $287,784 that your tenant gave you. Now, you remember, you're making that $1,500 a month or more, and that's pretty good. But out of that money that the tenant gave you, $287,784 in 10 years, you only got $65,256 out of it to pay down your loan, to increase your equity. All right. So let's take a look at that. So we're going to look at the 22,000. I'm going to show you what's happening here. We're going to take a look at how much interest you paid out of all the money you received. All right. So we're going to clear that out. We're going to put the $22,000 back in, $222,527.22. And we're going to divide it by the total amount of money we received. Divide it by 278,784 equals 79.8%. That's 80%. In the first 10 years of owning this property and receiving those rents, out of all the money you received, 80% of it went to the bank. Of every dollar you have received from your tenants, 80 cents out of every dollar has gone to the bank, and you get to keep 20 cents out of every dollar. And people are complaining about PMI. Doc, what do you say? What do you say about that?
That's crazy. I don't even know what to PMI is a small fraction compared to what they're doing here.
Yeah, a small fraction, and nobody's talking about it. Listen, you're a pastor, okay, and you've been doing church work for a long time. Has anybody ever brought this up in church, ever?
No, never. Not this particular. I mean, we talk about finances,
sure.
Talk about how to get things going, but no.
All right, folks. So now that we have an idea, I want to show you just one other thing that you need to consider. All right, let's get this back. Let's get this out of the way. Here's another thing that you need to consider: how much to prepay. Now that you know what you know, and in the first year, you're going to pay this loan down by $4,912.02, and then pay $23,000 in interest. So what if you knew what we knew now? And let me ask, do you have to pay that $4,912? Do you have to pay that in 12 monthly installments? Or could you give the bank the $4,912 in 1 month on line 1, be paid down to line 12 in just 1 month, and skip all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12? That's how it works. That's if you had it. And the reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I'm pointing this out is because there's so many different things we can do. Remember, we talked about the recipe. what amount of money should you pay? And in what month should you pay it in? And which loan should you attack? So with every single amount of money you can pay, there's a portion of interest you can save per dollar applied. So we talked about the payment dollar. So when you pay your dollar, don't you want to get the most out of your dollar, folks? Anybody? Come on up to the stage and let's talk about it. Any amount of money that you pay, don't you want to get the most out of it? How do you get the most out of it? By paying the right amount at the right time. Let me give you an example. So I'm showing two things here on the screen. I'm giving you two choices out of millions of choices because you could pay any amount of money that you want if you had it. But I'm going to give you just two choices here. And the two choices are you can prepay the $49.1202 and knock off 12 payments that you never have to make, or the $10,127 on line 24 and knock off 24 payments and save a ton of money here. So if you had the money available, which one would you choose? If you had plenty of money, and every time I've asked this, most people have chosen line 24. So let me show you what happens when you do that. So we're going to put in the amount of money that's saved, the 23,000. We're looking at line 12 now, column 3 and column 4. We're looking at the amount of interest that we would pay, 23,866.38. And we're going to divide it by the $49.1202. That's how much money we would pay. Divided by $49.12.02. And we get $4.858. That comes to $4, and the bank would round that up because it's 5 or greater. This 8 is 5 or greater. So it's $4.86. That's how much interest you save per dollar. So if you guys knew that you could put $1 on your mortgage and save $4.86 in interest you didn't have to pay, would that be valuable for you to know? Come on, put it in the chat. Raise your hand. Come up to the stage. Listen, I love to talk about this thing all day long. Oh, and continue to invite some other people in there so that they can see what's happening. So now, if I can do line 12 and save $4.86 per dollar, let's look at line 24. So we're going to bring that back over. I'm saving, listen, $47,429.80. Now I'm going to divide it by the 10,000. So remember, there's a point at which putting more on doesn't help you. It's the same in jerk chicken. It's the same in doing laundry. It's the same in whatever you're doing. Putting more on at the wrong time hurts your progress. So we're going to take the 40s, we're going to put the interest in here, and then we're going to divide it by the 10,127 equals 4.68. Huh. That's a big difference. So we're saving less per dollar when we put more on at the wrong time. So folks, I'm pointing out to you that anything that you do to get out of debt is not as good as any other thing you can do to get out of debt. You need to do the right thing at the right time to save the most amount of money that you can. On the 1st of March, I'm going to be going to Houston, talking to some middle schoolers about finance. It's career day, and I'm going to be in Houston talking about that. And one of the things I'm going to point out is that, and just showing them some simple things that, kids this age can pick up on. And I'm going to let them know that their parents are spending their inheritance on interest. Yes, because folks, we are conditioned to give all of our money away and not even look at it, not even notice it. People are just appalled when I show them how much interest they've paid to get what they've gotten in equity pay down and creating equity on these loans. So let's get into what is actually needed. So we're going to get into this, folks. But before we get into it, I need you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas and how he found the P.I.L.L method and understanding interest cancellation, how he iced his loan and made his wife feel so much better. Let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas and we'll jump right in.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Hey, Doc, I want to talk to you about how we can get distracted on this. You know, we've got that commercial playing. It's been our most successful commercial to date with Dr. Eric Thomas, the #1 motivational speaker in all of the world right now. #1. Okay. All right. And he's going to schools, he's going to colleges, he's going to universities. Practically every major sports team has had him come in to talk to their athletes. Okay. From baseball, football, it doesn't matter. All right. He's been there. Yeah. He's been there and he's doing that. And he's gone to Fortune 500 companies. And he commands per hour up to $150,000 per hour. I got a notice the other day from, a couple of people who are seeing the commercial. You know what their takeaway was? Why isn't he in a suit?
Are you serious?
I'm serious, man. I'll show it to you. Why isn't he in a suit? And why is he not using correct English?
What?
Oh yeah. Why isn't he using correct English? Now, this is a guy who's got a PhD and he is a New York Times best-selling author. Do you think he can use correct English when he needs to, and then use this type of vernacular when it suits the audience to get a point across?
My goodness.
And somebody is so focused on him not wearing a suit. They're so focused on his speech pattern, they lose the message of how he paid off his mortgage and made his wife feel better.
Talk about majoring in minors.
Yeah. So folks, this is what's going on here today. What's going on here is that we have been taught to focus on the wrong thing so the bank can continue to make money. And we have developed a program that that forces you to focus on the right thing so that you can save all of that money in interest, so more of your money goes to what you intended to do to pay back the loan in about 7 years. Not just one loan, but your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, everything in about 7 years, because this program forces you to save interest almost as easily as you were paying it before. I asked one client, I said, how easy was it to pay all that interest? He says, it was very easy, because I wasn't looking at it. I said, we're going to give you a program that's going to show you how it's even easier not to pay it with your current budget. Folks, there's a weakness in this system, and we're going to talk to you about that weakness in just a few minutes. But right now, we need you to focus on how you can get this information. You can get it by filling out a savings and earnings report. You can go to that link above, click on that link, and then you can get go to our website and fill out the information there, follow all of the instructions, and you will be let into our financial form, put all of your debt in there and the rest of the questions that we ask, and then you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. And out of the interest saved, the money that's no longer going to the bank pays for your lifetime program. Boom, 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 just like that. Just like that, just that easy. Okay? And so, and if you like what you're hearing, you may want to share this with others. On the same link, ice10k.com, for all of those of you that are just watching on YouTube or your favorite social media outlet, you can go to ice10k.com and you'll see two buttons there. One is to become a P.I.L.L Method affiliate for free. Click how you want to get paid, and then you can share these videos on YouTube with others. Okay. And today is episode 199. On Wednesday, we'll be doing show number 200. We got something special we're going to be doing for you on show 200. That's going to be on Wednesday of this week coming. All right. But anyway, go ahead and fill that out and know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, how much interest you could save, and how using the money that used to go to the bank and pay a small portion of that to pay off that house earlier. And we guarantee your numbers. We guarantee your success. We do what we say or you don't pay. If you don't believe it, Google P.I.L.L Method right now, and you'll see that over 17 years, we have an A+ rating with Better Business Bureau. And nobody is complaining about our program. Not even one complaint, not one bad word about our program, because we do what we say or you don't pay. All right. And we give it to you in writing. All right, folks, let's point up put the book right on the screen. So I encourage you, out of all the books on Amazon, get this book today. Get the book today. Out of all the books on Amazon, this is the only one that talks about this subject, interest cancellation. Interest cancellation, how you can cancel this interest by knowing what to do and when. All right, folks, I promise you we're going to get into the AI right now. So let's go ahead, start inviting some other folks in, because now you're going to be able to see the AI system that runs this whole thing. I'm going to put it on the screen now. And so I'm going to, just to give you an idea, I'm going to load in 10 mortgages into our program. So we're going to reset it. Okay. And then we're going to load in multiple properties. And in here are 10 mortgages. Well, it's 10 first mortgages and 1 second mortgage. And we're going to put a HELOC in there. So it's actually 11 mortgages in here. So we're going to reset it so you can actually see why it is important to have AI involved in paying the right amount of money at the right time to the right loan. Okay. So here we can see like 3 months at a time. All right. I'm going to get rid of this finance charge. This is how easy it is to execute and tell the program something. You just click and just tell the program, yeah, we did that. It's all done. All right. So now we can see December, we can see January, and we can see February. All right. Our current month. So what we're looking at is what we call the action plan on our dashboard. This is the action plan. What the program is doing is just doing some math and looking at thousands of different ways you can look at your income, pay your bills, and pay your mortgages off in a way that will save you more money, because there's 10 mortgages here. Which one do we start with? Which one's going to be the last one? How long do we pay on this one? There's a whole lot of things that you need to consider, but watch this when you consider the right thing. All right, we're going to take a look at the loans here. We're going to see that it starts out at number 10. Do I need to make this bigger so you guys can see it? Let me make it a little bit bigger. Oh, that's too big. Let's bring it back. Okay, bring it back one. All right, so here's loan number 10, and then you got 1, 2, 3, and there are different banks. This is at Wells Fargo. This is at Bank of America. You stay with your same bank. You stay with your same interest rate because we're not refinancing any of these. This one's a $500,000 loan. This one's a $375,000. This one's only $175,000 at 3%. So we're looking at all of these different loans. We got this HELOC at 8.6%. We owe $3,500 on it. So what are we doing? So we're looking at how much money we're bringing in so we can know when to pay off how we pay off our debt. All right. So right now, the bank wants $1,469,294 in interest we're not going to pay, plus the $1 million. This is $659,000. This is over $3 million worth of interest the bank wants on these properties. But by following this program, we're going to cut their interest cost by $1,469,294 guaranteed. Almost $1.5 million in interest they will not pay to acquire the same asset. So folks, if everybody else that has the same number of properties with the same, situation going on, they're paying all of that interest and more. But if this real estate investor says, you know what, I'm going to save $1,469,000, then what could they do with that money? What could they do with that money, and how could they invest it for themselves? Let me give you just a little bit of hint on why we need to save money like this. Because the extra money you pay to the bank, you can't also invest it. You're already investing in the properties, but you're giving the bank, in this case, you would be giving them $1,400,000 they don't need. And so if you give it away, you can't also invest that money. So we do a little thing here in our report section, a little thing called net worth. All right. The difference between how much you owe and how much you own. The difference between how much you owe and how much you own is net worth. All right. So we're going to take a look at wealth accumulation and take a look at this thing. The first year that these things can get paid off. All right. Look how fast we can start to accumulate wealth in the first year. In 2042, we can have at the end of that year 32,000, and we got all these properties. We got all this wealth, all these properties paid off, and because of that, in just 3 years, that's over $500,000 that interest money could be earning using compound interest. And this is at 1% return on your money, not 5%, not 10%, not 15%. This is 1% return on your money. And once you take care of this right, it only takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to actually have earned over $1 million with the money that's no longer going to the bank. And that's at a 1% return on your money. Folks, what are we doing by not considering how much money we're giving away to the bank because we have been taught to ignore it? So let me show you why we need the computer to do it. So we're telling the program how much money we're making here in rental incomes, 15 grand. And now we're putting some money in savings because the program says take money from checking and put it into savings. And now we're just paying the minimum payments on the loans. If you're new to the room, go to YouTube on a secondary device so you can see these numbers. Search for P.I.L.L method, P as in Paul, I-L-L method. Search for P.I.L.L method, and then you can see our live And go ahead and subscribe while you're at it. All right. Like a few of the videos. So we're paying our mortgage. All right. We're paying some of the bills. All right. We're putting the minimum payment on the HELOC, and we're buying some food. And we're just, and we're paying some other bills. Okay. So we've got all that going on. But then we get into January, and then the program does something a little strange. We're going to bring in our $15,000. All right. And then we're still going to pay our mortgages, but we have a little money out of all the money we're putting away. The program says pay the HELOC off to zero and put $4,105.78 on the mortgage. Doc, listen, man, the program, the AI said put $4,105.78. Why did we stop at just the 78 cents? We could have put more. Let me show you something. And why mortgage number 9 out of all 11 mortgages? Folks, do you understand that if you have 10 variables, it's over 3,600,000 different ways to attack this loan? And the AI has chosen this way so it can save you more money per dollar. Watch this when I show you. When we put this $4,105.78 on the mortgage, look at this one, just this one mortgage. I need to bring this up and make it just a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. That much money prepaid out of savings saves this homeowner, this real estate investor, $47,714.58 in interest. In other words, if this real estate investor was just to make the minimum payment and pay the loan down by $4,105.78, it would also take $47,000 in interest to accomplish that. But because the program says pay it early, pay it in your own time, you do not have to give the bank $47,700. What do you guys think about that? I got some new people on the stage. I got Crystal. I got Kirk the Bank Barnes. Crystal, how are you doing this morning? All right. And Crystal.
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you. I'm doing well. Tell us, please, who you are and what you do and why you're in the room this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Rose, Kirk, and everyone in the audience. I'm Crystal Armstrong in Dallas, Texas, and I am a licensed escrow officer. I also own a marketing consulting firm where I specialize in experiential and strategic marketing. I also own a luxury travel agency, and I'm currently designing a short-term rental unit. So that is going to be why I'm on mute for a long time and a little bit, Mr. Don. But I'm here because the escrow business is really busy these days. Even with the interest rates increasing, there are people who need this information that you are giving out. And I love to hear everything that you share because I can pass that on to clients who really need to figure out how they're going to get a lot of debt paid off in a shorter amount of time. So thank you for having me in this space.
And you are so welcome. Carrie D had a question about finding the live. Carrie, you want to click on the one that has the red live. There's when you find it, one has with clearly a red live on it. We have a ton of old live on that we've already recorded, but to find the one that we're doing now, it has a red button on it, live. That's the one you want to click on. All right. So Kirk the Bank Barnes, are you with us this morning?
Hey, Don. What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Kirk, tell us who you are and what you're doing. Why are you here this morning?
I'm Kurt the Backbone, commercial loan broker, short-term rental operator, and buy and hold investor in New York. I'm here to learn, man. Like Crystal said, trying to figure out how we could pay this debt off sooner than later, right? Strategically, though. Strategically. And congrats on that short-term rental, Crystal. If you need any information, let me know.
Oh, it's not mine. It's Malachi's, but you know, he he doesn't know what he's doing as far as making it look pretty.
Yeah, he needs help. Yeah.
All right, folks. Listen, we are talking about today. All right, and I have people have been challenging me on this for a long time, and so we're just telling the truth about what's really going on. Okay, and so I just want to recap this for anybody that's new in the building. All right. So, Kurt, you have heard it said, Crystal and Critic House, you've heard it said, why worry about the loan if I have tenants that are paying me and I'm cash flowing? Man, listen, I'm cash flowing like $1,500 a month on this thing, and that's now. That's not looking at the rent increases in the future. Okay, and that's just one property, and I'm going to get others. So here's what I'm saying on this one. On this one. And this is the only business I know of that you can give away 80% of the money that you've received and still make plenty of money. All right. So I have a $400,000 mortgage at 6%. Payment is $2398.20 a month. I'm cash flowing over $1,500 a month on this one property because of the rents that I'm bringing in. All right. But in just 10 years, here's what happens. All right. That is 120 payments. On this property, you've already paid $222,527.22. That's money your tenants gave you. $222,000. Kurt, what do you think about that? Out of all the money the tenants gave you, $222,000 of it went to interest just in the first 10 years.
It's a lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money. So when you put it all together, Kurt, so when you look at 222,000 and add it up, okay, 222,000 and the interest paid, the principal paid down is 65,256.78. So you've increased your equity by $65,000 with the monies that were given, but you paid $222,000 in interest for it. Does that make financial sense to you?
Nope.
That is a total of $278,000 your tenants have given to you. $278,784 your tenants gave to you. And then you turn around and give away $278,000 of it. Let me break down the numbers for you one more time for those of you who are new to the room. Here's the amount of interest that you paid, $222,527.22, and we're going to divide it by the total amount of money that you brought in. So we're going to divide it by 278,784. That's the total amount you brought in. That's 0.798. Folks, that is 80 cents out of every dollar that your tenants gave you over the 10-year period here, even though you're cash flowing $1,500 a month. But of all the money that they gave you, 80 cents out of every dollar went to interest. 80 cents out of every dollar, Kirk. Now, who else on Clubhouse or anywhere else is talking about that? 80 cents out of every dollar. So 20 cents out of the money that your tenants gave you actually went to pay down your loan. That makes no sense to me, Kurt. How about you? 20 cents.
Don't make any sense to me ever.
Okay. So, folks, here's what we're talking about. And you don't want to keep doing that. Focus here. Let's see what we can do to save this money. So let's get back to the program here that's doing all of the math for us. Okay. So here it is. All right. We got that's paying all the bills. All right. So here we go. We have $47,000 in interest saved. So I need to show you something. Let's bring this over a little bit so you can see it. We're saving $1,000,000 469,294. I showed you a little math just before this. If we pay more than we're supposed to, then we're going to save less interest overall. Let me show you what happens. I've got this person has over $10,000 in the bank. What if we did this? Let's put 7,000 on the mortgage, not 4,105.78. We're going to put $7,000 on the mortgage, and we're going to get a new figure, 7,000. And then the program will do an instant calculation, goes from 47,000 to $78,000 in interest saved with this $7,000. So I'm going to tell the program, I'm going to do this instead of what you told me. I need you to watch the 1,469,294. Okay. Watch these numbers when I pay $7,000 at the wrong time. We're going to execute that and say, this is what we're putting on this mortgage. Then the program is going to recalculate our interest savings. Okay. 1,469,294 becomes 247. Not 294, but 247. We're putting on more money, but we're saving less interest overall. And that's just one mistake. We have 10 mortgages over the next few years. How many mistakes will we make in trying to manage how much money we're putting on these loans, how much interest we can save without an AI system to help us to figure out how much to pay and when, and just give us the right amount of money to the penny to pay. Folks, we've been bamboozled by not knowing how much interest we can pay, how much interest we could actually save on these loans. All right. So Keisha Fuller says here, hi, Miss Keisha. She says, I definitely need to become a student and an affiliate. This will change the dynamics for myself and a lot more people I know. Miss Keisha, you are so right. If people understood this from the ground up, we don't understand the loans. We want to understand how to buy. We want to understand how to rent. We want to understand how to sell. We want to understand how to cash flow. We want to understand all of it. But we spend absolutely no time on understanding where the weakness lies in these mortgages. So, does anybody want to know just some basics on how to save money on interest? Anybody want to say any? Listen, you just tell me. I know we've been dealing with some big numbers, and sometimes it's hard to see it with the big numbers. But if you want to see how to understand this from a different perspective, why don't you just come to the stage? Miss Donna, I see your balloon there. Happy Clubhouse anniversary to you. Anybody want to come to the stage and talk a little bit about how all of this works on this fine Sunday morning? All right, raise your hand. We'll bring you up. All right. So this is show 199. On Wednesday, we're going to do our 200th show. Kurt, did you know that? 200 shows since we started this.
Congrats.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that's exciting. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to have some giveaways on Wednesday. So folks, you want to be here for that. All right. So let me
I got a question for you, though.
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
On a line of credit, right? So is there a way to pay that down quicker? Because I know on the line of credit, you only pay interest on what you borrow. I mean, besides paying it all back off at one shot.
Well, that's a good question, Kurt. So here's the question. Do you have more than one loan? Do you have the line of credit, and do you have other loans? That would be one question I'd need to ask.
Yeah, I got a car and I got a house.
There you go. So now we need to figure out, here's what we need to figure out first. This is why you need a computer to look at all this. How much interest are you paying or are you consuming each month on each loan? What is the interest cost? Not the interest rate, folks. What is the interest cost on each loan? So that's important to know. That's important to note. And here's why. Let me give you answer it this way, Kurt. I'm going to tell. I love telling stories about this. Let's say I have a $200,000. I've got a $200,000. Well, I'll use this mortgage. I'll use this mortgage. We got the $400,000 mortgage at 6%. All right. Now we're going to duplicate this tab, and we have. I duplicated the wrong tab. We're going to take a look at this. All right. We're going to duplicate this tab. All right. So now I need you to tell me how you feel about this. I've got a $10,000 balance on a credit card that's 27%. Okay. And all credit cards are amortized over 240 months. So what are the experts telling you? What are the experts telling you about this $10,000 at 27%? What are they telling you? Anybody? Kirk, what will the experts tell you about this credit card right here at 27%?
Pay it off.
Pay it off.
Pay it off.
And listen, you got the money to do it. You know, I'm not trying to tell you business, but you know, you're rich. I mean, you're real Clubhouse rich.
Sure.
All right. So let's say you could pay that off. And listen, folks, the experts are saying you need to pay this off because that 27% is killing you because your mortgage is only 6%. Let me show you something right now. If you pay this $10,000 off right now, and this is what I'm talking about, Kurt, how much do you owe on each loan and which one should you attack? How do we save interest? And it's not about how fast you pay off these loans, folks. It's how cheaply you pay off these loans. So if we take that $10,000 and we pay it all off at once, here is the interest payment, $225. So Kurt, if you pay that all off today, that's how much interest you would save, $225. Well, I mean, you know, I don't want to throw $225 away, right? I mean, it's not like it's not significant. 225 is 225. Okay. If you don't have to pay it, correct? But when you take a look at this mortgage, when you take a look at this mortgage, $10,000 on this mortgage knocks off 2 years off the mortgage, Kurt. 2 years off, and saves $45,478 in interest. That's a big difference. No one is talking about the interest cost on these loans except here at the P.I.L.L method, folks. If you use this system, it more than pays for itself because it's a lifetime program. Once you pay for it, it's yours forever to use on loan after loan, on mortgage after mortgage after mortgage, to continue to save you money, and we guarantee it for a lifetime. It must work. And I'm telling you, I've been on Clubhouse long enough. We have plenty of clients from Clubhouse. And if the program didn't work, you guys would know it already. Is that right, Crystal?
You know, I was looking for where I laid the phone down because I was like, oh, you would have been known as a scammer by now if it didn't work. But you are not. You are officially known as the man who can save you money on any of your long-term assets. So that's a win.
So, folks, that's why they call me ICE, Interest Cancellation Expert, the only one anywhere except for the people I train. I actually train interest cancellation experts all over the country. So if you want to know more about this, this is a game changer right here, right now. There is nothing better than saving interest on these loans. Now, here's what's great about saving interest on these loans. It doesn't keep you from investing your money. I don't want your investment money. That's the first thing real estate investors are talking about. So Don, why would I take that money and to pay off this loan when I could take that money and buy more doors? And I'm going to ask, how much of your income do you want to dedicate to buying more doors? And then they would tell me. And then I say, I don't want that money. Go ahead and invest that money. But the money that you're not using, what are you doing with it? And one of the things that they'll do is put some of it away in a savings account so that they can easily pay for repairs and maintenance on their buildings. Well, that's sitting in the bank making 1/10%. Could we leverage a small amount of that money to do some fantastic things? Folks, if you want to know how all of this works, if you want to have an idea of how a real estate investor will actually do that, you need to contact us. Have a conversation. Learn how this would work for you. Don't just hear it here and do nothing, because I'm guaranteeing you the bank is going to take every single $10,000 you give them, every single $50,000 you give them, every single $222,000 that you give them. And it's going to be so easy because your tenants are paying the bill. How about continue to make money like you've been making money and cut that $222,000 down by 75%? Okay. Listen, if we just 222,000, okay, 222,222, okay, divided by 75% equals, did I do that right? 200, okay, 222, now subtract this, okay, 222, 22 equals, yeah. How about only paying $74,000? Out of $222,000, how about paying just $74,000 to acquire the same asset or the same amount of equity? Why give the bank all that money when you don't have to, and use a program to do it? We have some people online that are making some comments. I have Diane Reeves here. I got Lois. She's saying a little something. She says, finally made contact with you. Have my consultation today. Oh, listen, I'm already in the office, Diane. She made contact. Here's what she did, folks. She went to ice10k.com. All right, ice10k.com. And she clicked on the button that says get a savings and earnings report. She filled out the information. And then someone from my office contacted her, and she set up a consultation, and we're going to meet today. So Diane, it is so good to see you in here today. William, I see you, William. I see you, William Bush, that just came in here. Good morning to you, William. All right, and I have Lois Hawkey Z says, terrific work. Interface is superb. Financial literacy champions. Thank you, Don. Listen, thank you, Lois. I appreciate you. And they're both watching us on YouTube. So, folks, if you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Go ahead and tell us where you're from. If you're here on Clubhouse, go ahead and put in the chat where you're from. I'd like to be able just to say hi. Right? And if you have any questions about purchasing real estate, if you have any questions about lending, if you have any questions about interest rates, if you have any questions about what the experts are teaching about how loans work and how they affect you, ask your question. Because here's what's going on. When it comes to lending, all the common information you've ever received that sounds like best practices, I will show you where the bank makes more money than you're saving. I will show you where the bank is making a lot of money. And folks, you need to really understand where the financial education really is coming from. If you trace it back, everything that you've ever learned, if you trace it back far enough, you will find out it came from the financial institutions teaching us about how their products work. And if we continue to get our financial education from people who are selling us loans, we'll still be in debt forever. We'll still be paying more interest than we need to, even though we're making a ton of money on the front end. We're making so much money on the front end, we're not even concerned with looking at the back end when so much more money is being paid to the bank so that we can make our $1,500 a month. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, well, see, so Vanda, we need to talk because, see, there are a lot of companies that do something similar to what we do, but we do it differently to save more money. So the company that you're talking about, if any of those people who are using that product came and let me coach them, they don't even have to come over to the P.I.L.L method product. I'll show them on their own product that I'll set it up differently and show them how they can save an additional $30,000 to $40,000 in interest and probably pay off 2 years sooner, because we're going to teach them how to understand the program and how to set it up so it will be optimized for them. Here's what's not happening with the other company, which is a good company. They're not providing coaches. They have customer service, but they're not providing coaches that understand the product. When you deal with a company that has customer service, most customer service workers work from a script. They don't understand the product in its entirety. We have the only book out there that describes how this whole process works. So if you know any of you people who are on the product already and want to know how to do it better, Vanda, listen, give me one or two of them. I'll coach them for free, and I'll show you how we will increase their benefit by using that same product. I love doing that one. I absolutely love doing that one. So, Vanda, thank you very much for pointing that out. This is good stuff. And listen, if you want to do better with your company and you want to learn this from the ground up, we'll be glad to talk to you about how you can become an interest cancellation expert so that you can help your clients do a lot better. Oh my goodness. All right, this Vanda, listen, when you click on that link, there is a number that you can use to text me. So text me with your full name and let's talk a little bit. I'd love to be able to touch base with you. Folks, is there any other comments, any other questions this morning about what we're doing? Listen, we're coming up on the top of the hour. You're in the real estate. You're in the mortgage syndicate. All right. Mortgage syndicate this morning. And this is a great club to be in. In fact, they're starting to do more of their meetups out of their house. So not only join the club, but join the mortgage syndicate house as well, because they're starting to do more out of that. They're on 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 hours a day with fabulous content. I'm even in there sometimes sharing information about the P.I.L.L method and how interest cancellation actually works. So if you want to know more about this anytime, so follow me, and then you will be able to know whenever I'm in any one of these rooms and come up and ask a question. This book that we talked about earlier, you can see it if you're online. If you just came to the room, go to YouTube. and search for Pill Method. Click on the one that's red that says live, and you'll be able to see this.
Hey, Don.
Yes, sir.
I just put your QR code up too.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right.
That'll take them to your business card.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Look at that. Listen, that's why. Listen, Kurt, I'm going to finish this up, and I need you to tell them we've been here. You've been working with us for almost 200 shows, 200 shows on Wednesday. I need you to talk to the folks a little bit about how we've worked together and what this has meant for our company. But folks, get the book today, and start learning not only what you can learn for yourself, but what you can teach to your children. And if you have clients in the financial realm, what you can teach your clients using this book as a textbook. Give us a call. You can learn more about how it works. It's the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that even begins to talk about how interest cancellation actually works and what you could do to save money. All right. So, Kurt, I want to thank you for being here, man. You've been here for almost 200 shows.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. Talk to the people because you do in your own right, you do live video.
Yes,
Why
sir.
do live video? What's the reason for it?
And it's simple, man. I think, it's twofold. One is if you have a business, you have a product, you have a service that you want to get out there, you want it to be known, you want people to know you, you want people to have you synonymous with quality, have you synonymous with the personality. The old saying is that people don't necessarily resonate with organizations and brands and brand names. They resonate with people. That's why you're going to start seeing a lot of the brands, Walmart, Target, Amazon. They're going to start trying to find influencers or people that they can have synonymous with their brand, because that's what people resonate with. And live video is the way that you do that. Live video is kind of the cheat code. What I love about what Don has done is it's not just about going live. It's about having a plan, having a structure. What Don shares with us, I want to be clear on this, is quite literally life-changing, but it's just the beginning. You get the book and you have enough information to be dangerous. And you really need to get the coaching, and you really need to get the service, the opportunity cost calculator, which is what he showed today. And I love when he shows that, because I really kind of gives people a peek into the real magic of what the P.I.L.L method does. Because while it is financial literacy, it's financial GPS. And let's be clear, having the GPS is the cheat code. Nobody wants to take out the old school map and try to chart their way through to financial success. And so he's leveraging live video in a way that allows everybody to not only engage with him and see him as a personality, you can hear him and see him and recognize that this is not something he does for money. He does it because it's the calling on his life. That's what I love about live video. It's you're hitting more than one sense. I love Clubhouse. Guys, Clubhouse is cool. It's great. But what you get with video is that you can see the person. You can see their facial expressions. You can see when they pause and think about what it is they want to answer and how they want to approach a specific question that comes up live, and how they're able to navigate that thing. You can't fake this stuff. That's what it is. When people see you live, that's why I will often say your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience your greatness than for them to see you do it live. When they see you do it live, they don't need the ad campaign. They want to sign up. They're trying to figure out, how can I get this person to get them on my team so that I can have that genius, I can have their secret sauce at work for me. And that's what happened for me. That's what has happened for me multiple times, not only as a live streamer myself, but also as a live video coach. But even as I work with clients like Don, I've seen it happen so many times now. I'm just convinced this is one of the best ways to be able to engage people around whatever it is you have to offer the world. So yeah, Don, man, thank you so much for the opportunity. And again, I applaud you. Listen, I'm in the background. Yes, I'm in the background, but Don has been consistent of all my clients, the most consistent in getting his message out here on a regular basis. So many have started and stopped, but Don feels that this message must be shared with a broader audience, and that's why he's here live 3 times a week. And I think that's absolutely awesome.
Well, Kurt, there's so much that goes on here that trying to get it all in one session is too difficult. There's so many different parts about this, and we've done 200 shows, but we try to give a little bit of nuance to each show that you didn't hear before in any of the other shows.
It's true.
Okay. So just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more, and it just keeps building. This is why there's so much going on with the opportunity cost calculator that does all the math. There's so much going on with it that there's no way I could ever describe everything that goes into it. So we want people to understand this. It's not as easy as people try to make it.
I agree.
This thing is infinitely hard. We have simplified a complicated process. That doesn't make it simple. Okay? And that's the distinction. And that's what folks need to know about what we're doing here. Absolutely. And so Kurt, by us doing this live, I can talk about this all day on Clubhouse. But there's more than just seeing me and seeing my facial expression. You don't get this. You don't get the understanding about what we're doing until you see the numbers for yourself.
That's it.
When you can see the numbers, folks, let me tell you something about getting any information about somebody that is doing finances. If they don't give you the numbers to prove what they're saying, don't believe it until you see the proof. I'm not saying they're lying. What I am saying is don't believe it until you see the numbers. Because many people will come on and disagree with me right off the bat because they think I'm saying one thing when I'm really saying another. They've never seen this before. They think that they're attacking something that they've seen and heard before. But if I own the copyright, they couldn't have seen it before because I didn't teach it to them. I own the copyright on this. All right. So I have the only book on this on Amazon. So that's what we're trying to say here. This is what we call being a disruptor to an industry. And Kurt, you mentioned being an influencer. So here's what something happens, folks. When you get out there and you start talking about some products or whatever, and then the companies will contact you and say, will you please, we're going to sponsor you. And will you please talk about this in reference to us? Okay, that's what an influencer does. I guarantee you, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, I guarantee you they're not going to call me. I guarantee you that I will not be an influencer for these corporations. The only way this information gets out is if you share it. Right now, you can share this. Take down, just go to, just search P.I.L.L Method and you'll find all of our social media. On my card, all of my social media is there. Share this with family and friends. That's the only way this is going to get out because the corporations aren't going to hire me to do it. In fact, I want to help you. I want to pay you. If you will go to my my link up above, ice10k.com, and find the button that you can take 15 seconds and sign up as an affiliate for free. If you want to make $300 for every person you send to me that becomes a client, there's only 2 qualifications that each client you send has to have. They have to have at least $100,000 in debt and at least 1 mortgage. If they have a mortgage and at least $100,000 in debt, no matter how you add it up, you can send them to me, send them to our company, and once they become a client, we will pay you $300. What do you think about that, folks? I need your help in getting this information out. I need your help. So does anybody have any questions? Kurt, did you have anything else for me?
Man, no, not. But I hope that people take advantage of what you've shared. I think it also speaks to the relevance and the value proposition, and how certain you are that people will be benefited by this. That you have even created an affiliate program where they can be paid when they refer this. I mean, that's the thing, is you're so laser focused on how this can help people.
Yes.
And I just don't want to overlook that, because let me be clear, y'all. Don's still going to get paid. That's okay, and it's okay to get paid. Okay, it's okay for him to get that pay, but what they are going to receive as a benefit far exceeds, what they're going to be able to give Don. In fact, I mean, this is a lifetime program. People have been using it for 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 mortgages, and they've paid them off, and they're continuing on. So I just feel like it's the gift that keeps on giving. My kids will get access to it when they're ready. You get my point. So I just feel like, guys, it's a really good investment. And the heart of the person who has created it is of a nature that you can trust this thing. So I just wanted to put that in there as well.
All right, folks, listen, I want to thank everybody for being here. But if you want to see more about the P.I.L.L method opportunity cost calculator, instead of, we hired somebody to talk about it. And it's a 23-minute video. And I'm going to go ahead and find that link for you. And when we get that link, we're going to put it up. I didn't have it prepared earlier, so let me go and get the link. We'll put it in the chat, and so people can see what's going on with this thing. So let me find that. All right, P.I.L.L method opportunity cost calculator. Click on that, and there we go. And share. All right, copy. And Kurt, I'm gonna send it to you on the private channel, and so you've got it. All right. And then we're going to put it in the chat on Clubhouse. There you go. All right. There you are, folks. 23 minutes, give you some idea on the most powerful money management, wealth building, debt reduction program on the planet from P.I.L.L Method International. Nobody on the planet does it like we do. We offer something from a different perspective. And I'm going to tell you what that perspective is right now. Okay? Because I am, oh, listen, somebody just filled it out. Just send it in. All right. I see you, Jackie. Listen, folks, watch this. Watch this. The reason why we do what we do, is because you deserve to know. Because I didn't sit down to try to figure this thing out. It says, you know what? There's something wrong here. Let me figure it out and let me teach it to the world. How did I get it? It is because of how I'm wired. And if any of you are on the spectrum or have children that are on the spectrum, I have what's called Asperger's, and some people say it's kind of hard to explain, because once you start studying it, and they say one person, when you met one person with Asperger's, you met one person with Asperger's, because it's a wide spectrum. Autism is a wide spectrum. So it's known as a high functioning form of autism, and they call it autism spectrum disorder. So how it manifests itself in me is I see things. When I look at things, I see them in pictures and patterns. I can see, I literally deconstruct things in my head, and then can mimic them or understand them from a basic level, and I don't even know how I do it. I don't know how. I can't explain to you how I know what I know. So when I see an amortization schedule, I see it differently from practically everybody else that's looking at it. And so when I tell people, here's what's going on, here's the amount of money that you're paying, here are the percentages that are going out, it's the very thing that the banking system has been so diligent in keeping from us for all of these years. And we think that the recipe that we've been given is the only recipe there is. And folks, I'm trying to tell you, if I didn't have Asperger's, if I didn't have, if I wasn't autistic, I would be right in there with you doing the same thing, because I was doing the same thing for years. I'm doing the same thing you were doing for years, just trying to pay my bills. But I got a glimpse of an amortization schedule and tried some things out on our own with like our car payment, and found out that this stuff really works. And over the years, we've developed this business over 17 years. So when you Google P.I.L.L method right now, think about it. Go ahead on another device or on the same device you're on now, Google P.I.L.L method, and you'll find out that birth control is on page 2. That's how popular this is now. No one on the planet does it like we do, only because it's wired in my head this way. And it is not because of anything that I've done on my own. I cannot take credit for how I was born. I mean, that's how my mind works. So whatever I have set my mind to do, that's how I have learned it. I've learned it because my mind breaks it down differently. And then I can easily, that's why I could mimic a golf swing, or swing a baseball bat, or even, yes, ride a unicycle. I even ride a unicycle. So there are a lot of things that I do just because I see it done, I can then mimic it. And then when I see an amortization schedule, I'm saying, why do it this way when all we have to do is make a few minor changes? We don't need more money. But if we do this, you'll save a lot of money, and more of your money will go to principal to pay down the loan. Well, that's it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's going to be it for today. We've got a lot to prepare for you on Wednesday. We're going to do some book giveaways. I'm going to give away some books, some signed copies of my book. So you want to be there. We're going to have, if you like my digital business card, we're going to be giving away some digital business cards on Wednesday. So you want to be there. And I believe this is the first time we're going to be doing the room from the P.I.L.L Method House. Okay. And the name of the house is the P.I.L.L Method Presents the Ice House. So we call it the Ice House. So let's find out what that is all about. Interest cancellation expert, or interest cancellation eliminates car loans. Interest cancellation eliminates your mortgage. Interest cancellation eliminates your student loans. Any loan that you have, your credit cards, every loan that you have, all the loans together, the average family has about 13 different debts. We help you to wipe it all out in about 7 years by saving you up to 75 to 80% of those interest payments you shouldn't be making in the first place. So if you want to know more about it, keep watching the videos. On Wednesday will be show number 200. So if you are here right now, if you're in the room right now, if you're a moderator, go ahead and flash your mic if you can do an outro for us, please. Tell the folks how they can get a hold of you. Tell them what you're doing. All right. Kurt, are you around to tell people how they can get a hold of you for asset-based lending? Credit Goddess. All right, Kurt. Go ahead, man. How do we get a hold of you to get one of those DSCR loans or whatever kind of loan you're doing these days?
Sure, Dan. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I am a commercial loan broker. You contact me at 914-317-8006, or you can visit the website, infinitycapitalservices.com, and reach out to me. Let me know what you guys need. And I'm here to provide funding. Also, I'm in the short-term rental space. So if you guys want to get in or want to scale, you guys can contact me as well. So appreciate you.
Thank you, Kurt. Crystal, Credit Goddess, you got an outro for us? All right, I guess they're busy. So, folks, listen, we're getting ready to get out of here. Thank you for being here the entire time. Some of you have been here the entire time, and I appreciate it.
They just got, I don't know if you saw the message there from Diane Reeves. She just wants to make sure she's on the same time zone. I think it is.
Oh, okay. Diane, we're Central Time. Well, I got to go back. But still, Diane, let's see. You're Central Time. Let me go to I'm gonna pull up my calendar.
She said it's 11:10 where she is, and she sent that at 10:10. So
yeah,
you are.
Yeah, you're Eastern Time. You're Eastern Time.
Diane. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So Diane, listen, Diane. We're confirming appointments right live on air here.
I love that. I love that.
Where else can you do that, man?
This is what it's about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And while Don's doing that, family, is not too late. Scan the QR code, book your appointment, fill out the form, get a free savings and earnings report.
Okay.
Consult, you'll pay for the consult, but you can get the report.
Mm-hmm. So Diane, you're on our calendar for 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Time for me. So that is it. Is that right? We got you down for 3 p.m.
We got it. Yep. Great show today, Don.
Listen, man, thank you very much, Kurt. And listen, I appreciate you. I mean, it's not just me that's been faithful. All right. It's not just me that's been consistent. You have been there the entire time. I see Jackie Gurley there. Jackie, how are you? Right here in Huntsville, watching us on Instagram. No, I'm sorry, LinkedIn. Online, she's watching us on LinkedIn.
That's cool.
All right. Oh, she sent me a message today, thanking me for, congratulating me for another year in business.
That's another
year in business. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate you. Lawrence. All right. Holloway from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you for being here. Jackie Reeves. Thank you for being here today. Who else is here? Donna. All right. Diane. All right. Lois.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for being here. And then everybody else that's been online, thank you also for being here. We're going to be right back here on Wednesday. And we're going to hear from, let me see, Crystal or Credit Goddess. Can you chime in here? Flash your mics if you're available. If not, folks, that's going to be it for today. Let me just go over some of the things that you want to do. If you have been inspired today, go to my link up above, ice10k.com, ice10k.com. Click the link that says get a savings and earnings report. And then you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free. And we want to introduce you to our opportunity cost calculator. It is the only AI system in the world that is attached to your personal finance. It's the only one. All right. Let's see how you can get that today. Save money, save interest, save time. All right. Become an affiliate with us and help us to spread the message. And we'll add a little something to your bottom line each and every month as you share the P.I.L.L method with other folks. And remember, they have to have at least $100,000 in debt and a mortgage to qualify. Keep that in mind. All right. Also, get the book today. And so that you can become and listen, if you're worried about the giveaway, don't worry about it. If you get the book today, all right, and you go to my IG and you said, I'm going to get the book. I know Don's going to do a giveaway on Wednesday. But if you get the book today, I will send you a second book for free, signed by me. Just when you get it from Amazon, just take a screenshot of your a receipt, and then send it to me on my IG. DM me on my IG. I can see it, and then make sure you put in your address, phone number, and the like, so that we can get that sent out to you. I'll send you a book. All right. So you don't have to wait till Wednesday to get a giveaway. All right, folks, that's going to be it for today. I want to thank you very much. We're going to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time, and then it is our theme music, and we're just going to say goodbye for today. But thank you for being here for show 199. Wednesday, we're going to be right back for our 200th episode. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Bye-bye.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.